Hey everyone, and welcome back to another great eShop deals video. Where each and every week we look at the eShop and we pick out which should be the best games to pick up that are currently on sale. After a couple of really crazy Black Friday weeks, we're slowly getting back to a regular schedule, at least till Boxing Day hits. Also, just as usual, we'll be giving away today two $5 eShop gift cards about halfway through the video. If you want to participate in the next giveaway, all you need to do is leave a comment down below and be subscribed to the channel. Then you tune in to the midweek under $5 eShop deals video to see if you won. If you want to see all the contest rules, by the way, they're down below in the description of the video. A new addition as well, towards the end of the video, we'll be showing this week's winner of the Caption Contest. There's no prize for that, it's just bragging rights. Now with all that out of the way, let's jump straight into the deals. Just don't forget that if you do like what you're seeing, please consider hitting that like button. Now just really quickly, I do want to give a quick shout out to the Cubic and Friends Winter Sale. Now the normal free coloring book trick does not work this time to get the extra discounts. You have to have one of the 10 games that you see on the screen right now. But if you already own one of these 10 games or you pick any one of them up, basically a lot of the other games included in the Cubic game sale are going to drop below the $2 mark. Now, as I said earlier, I'm not going to go into details about this sale because Cubic Games does this on a regular basis and we talk about it a lot. If you want all the details, Alex over at Switch Corner did full coverage on this sale and he goes over almost every game worth picking up. What we are going to do, however, is I have one game in the main list that is an awesome pickup, whether you have the extra discount or not. And also, I included 4 or 5 great picks of mine from this list in the Sizzle reel at the end of the video. I also included both prices for those games on the screen, so you'll see the regular price if you don't own one of those 10 games, and then you'll see an asterisk next to it with the adjusted price if you do have access to the extra discounts. And lastly, they are also running a contest where you can actually win a Switch OLED. If you want all the contest details, I'll leave the link to the website down below just so you guys can get access to the contest. And by the way, I am not sponsored in any way by Cubic Games. So now we can jump into our regular list. And we're going to start with that one Cubic game that I think is worth picking up whether you have access to the extra discount or not. And that is Badland Game of the Year that is currently 50% off at $2.99. And by the way, if you do have access to the extra discounts, you get another $1 off. It drops to $1.99. And the regular sale on this game is going to be ending on December 22nd. Now, Badland is an awesome game that is based off of a very simple principle. All you have to do is make it towards the right of the screen. Think of the concept of Flappy Bird, although with a lot of puzzles and different challenges thrown in. Not only that, but there's actually a pretty decent background story towards why you're going through these different environments, and let me tell you that visually, this game is actually quite stunning. So as I said earlier, whether you have access to the extra discount or not, if you just want a very simple concept but pushed to the limits of where it can go and a great gaming experience, at $2.99, Badland Game of the Year is just always a great pickup. Now the next great deal I want to take a look at is actually a deal on a couple of games, because both Romancing Saga 3 and 2 are currently 70% off. In the case of Romancing Saga 3, it drops the price to $8.69. In the case of the second edition, it drops it to $7.49. Now, both these deals are going to be running till December 18th. Now, both these games are truly classic JRPGs in the truest sense of the word. And I'm saying that as a very good thing, but also a slight warning at the same time. Because the Romancing Saga is so rooted in Eastern culture that sometimes the storyline for a Western audience can be slightly harder to follow than some other more generic JRPG entries. However, nonetheless, both these games are offering tons of amazing gameplay that if you are generally into the old school JRPG genre, you should really experience, especially now that the translations are done and they're remastered in full HD. And personally, I've got to say, for the visuals and art style alone, both these games are really great pickups. Now, the next great deal we're going to take a look at is another Square Enix game, and that is Saga Frontier Remastered. That is getting pretty much its first ever sale at 20% off, dropping it to $19.99, and once again will be running till December 18th. Now, this is once again a great entry for any fans out there of JRPGs. And I've got to tell you, the Saga Frontier Remaster is once again a truly beautiful game to behold. Not only that, but because it has a non-linear storyline, a lot of people are going to feel this as a fresh twist on the classic JRPG style. The leveling system in this game is also quite original, where basically the more you use abilities, the more those specific abilities will increase. So rather than the traditional level system, it is based on what type of techniques you're using. Overall, this remaster in my opinion was easily worth the full price, so right now with a 20% discount, it's a great time to be picking it up. Now our next great game for today is going to be The Takeover, that is currently 75% off, dropping its price down to only $4.99, and this deal will be running till December 23rd. Now if you're a fan of side-scrolling brawlers, The Takeover, especially when it's on sale, is a great entry to be taking a look at. And I actually did a highlight video showing off a couple of the levels of this game. You can actually check it out on the channel and I'll be linking it in the top pinned comment. But basically, the game is done with a modern art style, however, the overall storyline is a throwback to those classic 90s beat 'em ups. Not only that, but they've even thrown in a couple of bonus stages, one that is based off of games like Overrun, and others that are throwbacks to titles like Afterburner. Ultimately, at $20, this game does have some stiff competition, but when it's 75% off at $4.99, it becomes a great pickup. Now, our next great deal is a game that I love to talk about when it's on sale, and that is Tanuki Justice, that is currently at its new lowest ever price of 53% off, dropping the price to $6.99, and this deal once again will be running till December 23rd. Now, I'll be honest with all of you, Tanuki Justice is a game that I'm just in love with. I love its art style and I love its gameplay. Once again, I even played it during one of our live streams, which I'll be once again linking down below. But ultimately, Tanuki Justice is a very challenging 2D side-scrolling platformer with a bullet hell type of gameplay. It is not actually a game that is very long, but its challenge level will actually take hours of practice and probably a ton of deaths and continues. However, once you have the challenges memorized and you finally complete a level, it is a game that is oh so satisfying. And this is one of those games that even at full price I would say is an easy pickup, and right now getting it for 53% off is an awesome deal. So now it's time to take a quick break and announce today's winners of the $5 eShop gift card. And our first winner for today is going to be Azora Smith, who said, "Great game suggestions as always." And you know what, Azora, thank you so much for the compliment, but when we get great sales like we did this year on Black Friday, it makes my job almost too easy. And our second winner for today is going to be Walter Ruiz, who said, "Scott Pilgrim, no-brainer." Once again, Walter, I totally agree with you. Scott Pilgrim is a great pickup, especially when the price is as low as it was just a week ago. So now all you need to do to claim your $5 eShop gift cards is reach out to me in my pinned comment down below. So now, jumping back into the deals, our next game that we're going to take a look at is Wallachia Reign of Dracula, that is also at a new lowest ever price of 53% off, only $6.99, and once again will be running till December 23rd. Now, Wallachia is another one of those games that I'm just totally in love with. It is a retro-styled action platformer that, yes, does take a lot of inspiration from the Castlevania series. And although its basic premise and some of its art style, as we said, could be inspired by Castlevania, what really made me fall in love with this game is at the same time it really does its own thing, switching the whip action to a bow and arrow. Once again, it's just another one of those truly solid, retro-styled action platformers that even at its full price of $15 would be an easy pickup in my book. So when you're getting it like today, once again at less than half price, it is ultimately a great pickup. Now, the next entry I want to take a look at is Collection of Saga Final Fantasy Legend that is 25% off, dropping the price to $14.99, and this deal will be running till December 18th. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of the Game Boy. And here in the West, we got the Saga series from the Game Boy published as Final Fantasy games. And basically, these are ports of those 3 original Game Boy games in one collection. This collection, however, will come with a slight warning. These are very dated titles. What that means is that if you're not the type of person that enjoys playing true retro games, be careful with this one. You might not enjoy the gameplay too much. However, for the nostalgia factor and those who just enjoy experiencing retro games, it is a great collection to have. Now, our next entry is actually a new one to the series, and that is Monkey Barrels, that is now 50% off, dropping the price to $7.49, and this deal will be running out on December 9th. Now, this game is a cutesy-styled twin-stick shooter, and oddly enough, it's made by the same company that worked on Yoshi's Crafted World. Now, this is a game that I was really waiting for a sale to be able to talk to you all about, because it is a ton of fun. However, at its full price of $15, there's just too much competition for it on the Switch. However, now with a 50% discount at the under $10 mark, I finally find that it can be an actual great pickup for anyone looking for an easier to play twin-stick shooter. And also, as I said earlier, for someone into the cutesy art style, there's a ton to love here. So finally, at 50% off, I can easily now recommend this game. Now, next on the list, we have another new entry to this series, which is going to be Xeno Crisis. That is now 50% off, dropping the price to $9.99. However, this deal is going to run out quickly on December 7th. Now, once again here, we have a twin-stick shooter. However, this one has the totally opposite art style from the previous one. Now, this game rather uses a retro art style, and it plays almost exactly like Smash TV meets Aliens. They have, however, added in some modern things like an upgrade system integrated. However, it's going to come with a fair warning. This is a very challenging game. And I would add to it as well that probably the best way to experience this game is in 2-player co-op. But ultimately, if you're a fan of twin-stick shooters with a high level of challenge, finally at 50% off, I can easily recommend Xeno Crisis. Now, our next deal is going to be on Super Squidlit. That is now 50% off, being at its lowest ever price of $4.99, and this is another deal running out quickly on December 6th. Now, Super Squidlit is another game that I fully reviewed on the channel. And once again, I'll be linking that review down below in the top pinned comment. Now, although Super Squidlit was released just this year, it is what we would call a true retro style title. What that means is it was actually developed with the limitations of the Game Boy Color. Theoretically, if you took this ROM and put it on a cartridge, it should be able to run on original hardware. Now, at its heart, Super Squidlit is a 2D action platformer. However, the developers here have offered quite a few alternate styles of levels, even adventuring into the old school 3D dungeon style. Now, once again, this game will come with a slight warning. You really have to be into the retro style to enjoy this game. However, if you are just like me, you might find something truly great to pick up in Super Squidlit. So now it's that time again. It's time for this week's Sizzle Reel of deals. So now, just before we wrap up today's video, let's look at this week's winner of the Caption Contest. And ultimately, there were so many great entries, I just went with the one with the most upvotes for this week. And that was Wes Smith with his caption, "When the boss says the 15-minute break is over, but you know damn well that it's only been 14 minutes. And I just want to let you all know that I really love doing this caption contest. I laughed a ton of times over the week just reading over all your captions. By the way, I just don't heart any of the comments to not influence the upvotes. So now we're pretty much at the end of the video, so as usual, I want to hear from all of you. Let me know what games you're picking up for this week. Also, as usual, I want to take a couple of seconds to really thank the channel supporters. We're now up to 18 supporters, and honestly, they help in a big way. And lastly, on the way out, don't forget that if you did like the content, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel if you aren't already, and hitting that notification bell so you know when all my future content comes out. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.